So welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing our first preview of the season. Brentford versus Arsenal in the first game of the new Premier League season. And I cannot wait. I love the Premier League and I cannot wait for it to be back. Usual studio settings. The last time you saw this was in the Brighton preview, the last game of the Premier League season. And we are finally back, just away from all the transfer nonsense because of Arsenal's inactiveness. We're going to go straight into the first Premier League preview of the season, Brentford versus Arsenal. This is on the Friday night, the first game of the Premier League. And I cannot wait. As I said, I can't wait. And today we're going to go through the preview, talk a bit about Arsenal, talk a bit about Brentford, and talk a bit about the insights and the facts before the game. But first of all, Arsenal. What have we done? Obviously, we signed Ben White, Albert Sambi Lokonga, and Nuno Tavares. Will we sign anyone else? That's a question, from now to the end of the season, whether we will sign anyone else. Hopefully we will. Likes of James Maddison, likes of Hussein Mawar, Korean Trippier, all being linked. And Onana, obviously, for that goalkeeper spot. It'll be very interesting to see what we actually do, in my opinion, because we need to do something more because Ben White, Lokonga, Tavares, all very good signings. I appreciate all of them and I think all three of them will be very good for us, but we need to do more than that. We need more because if we want to try and get from 8th to try and challenge for a Champions League spot, to try and break into that top 4, we need more and we need to do more. And that's what I've been demanding. And look, if we don't do anything more, then my expectations are going to be 8th again because we really haven't done much, have we? Yes, the likes of Ben White are going to improve our starting 11. Yes, Lokonga and Tavares will add very good depth into our squad and will help us during the season. But again, we don't have Europe. So is the squad necessarily that important unless big injuries come? Not too sure. But if we want to break into that top 4, we do definitely need more signings because when you do look at the current top 4, what they're adding, look at Chelsea, they're adding Lukaku, Man City adding Grealish, maybe Kane. Look at Leicester adding Daka, adding Samari, adding Bertrand. Look at Liverpool adding Kanate, and they could be adding Sanchez and Sao Niguez. So they're all adding that top 4, and we need to try and break that gap and try and get into that top 4. And if we're gonna do that, we need to sign more players. And obviously, look, this game against Brentford, it's irrelevant to that. This game is just about winning and trying to get on the score sheet. To be fair, Brentford have had an okay pre-season. Just the 2 results I can see here, they lost 1-0 to West Ham, but they actually beat Valencia, which was quite interesting. But again, I think in terms of Brentford, looking at pre-season games, they played Wimbledon, which was a 1-0 win. They played Boreham Wood, which was a 2-0 win. They played Man United, which was a 2-2 draw. They lost 1-0 to West Ham, and they beat Valencia 2-1 at their ground. So it's pretty decent, to be honest. They've not done too bad. And when you look at the players that Brentford have got in their squad, they've got obviously Ivan Toney, and that's their main player. They've also got Christophe Ayer from Celtic. He's obviously a very good player. Josh De Silva, David Raya, a decent goalkeeper. Rico Henry as well. So they've not got loads of decent players, but they've got a few good players that if they can use to their good advantage, that they may cause us some problems. And Ivan Toney is the main one we need to be looking out for. And look, Brentford, they're not a great team. And in my Premier League predictions, if you want to go check that one out. But I said they'll finish rock bottom because I just don't think they've got enough experience, enough know-how to try and win this game. I don't think that, not just this game, but the Premier League season to try and avoid relegation. Christophe Ayer is a very shrewd signing. I think that's probably one of the only notable signings they've made, Brentford, and it's a good signing as well. Christophe Ayer has been very good for Celtic, and he's gonna come in. And Ivan Toney is probably another one. He's even said in quotes that he wants to win the league with Brentford. Well, you need the players for that, don't you? But again, look, you know what Leicester did? You never know. Some players could come out the shadow and do very well this season in the Premier League. Someone like Ivan Toney, and he's probably their best player. And if there's any one player that we should be looking out for, it's definitely him. Because if we're defensively stupid like we are sometimes, then it could cause us quite a few problems in this game. And I think that's one thing I'm very worried about. But yeah, that's the 2 teams. Let's see some of the match stats for this game. This will be the first league meeting between Brentford and Arsenal since May 1947, a match the Gunners won 1-0 at Griffin Park. Arsenal won just one of their 6 visits to Brentford in all competitions, drawing 1, losing 4. This will be the first such meeting since May 1947. Brentford will be the 50th different team to play in the Premier League and the 10th from London. Just 11th of the previous 49 participants have won their first ever game in the competition, drawing 15, losing 23, while no side from the capital has won their first ever Premier League game, drawing 5, losing 4. When kicking off their Premier League season away from home, Arsenal unbeaten in 7 games, winning 5 and drawing 2, since losing 1-0 at Sunderland in the 2000 and 2001 campaign. The Gunners began last season with a 3-0 victory away against a promoted side, Fulham. Brentford against Arsenal is only the third ever game in the Premier League history to be played on Friday the 13th. The other two were in April 2001, with Bradford City winning 2-0 against Charlton Athletic and Leeds United beating Liverpool 2-1. So that's an interesting one. Friday the 13th, obviously just a jinxy day, isn't it? But look, the other match stats, obviously Brentford are just promoted, and I think with promoted sides you do get that sort of urge to, get on the front foot, with all the fans in the stadium. Because it's at Brentford's ground, it's going to be pressure on Arsenal to try and break this Brentford team down, because they're going to be defensively shrewd. They're going to have that 12th man with the fans behind them. The first game in the Premier League, I don't know, have they ever been in the... No, they've never been in the Premier League before. It's their first time. They want to get onto the front foot, and they're playing a massive team like Arsenal. The fans will realise that, the players will realise that, and they want to try and get started quickly, be on the front foot, and they could take the game to Arsenal. And if we are not careful, if we are not ready, if we are not prepared, we will lose this game. That's something I'm not afraid of saying. I think we will win this game. I just think we have too much firepower against them, and I think in terms of experience within our squad, what we have, I think we should be winning this game, and I think we will. But again, we have to be very careful, because if we're not, we can easily lose this game. This is my team over there, and obviously down on the scroller, so you can see there. But starting off in goal, I'm going to go with Leno. We don't really have any other keeper. We don't have a choice. We need to sign another keeper, but for now it's Leno. Against Spurs in our last preseason game, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he's probably our best player, I think. Leno is probably our best player, and that's who I'm going to go with. Right back, Bellerin. Flipping hell. This is more me predicting it more than what I would go with. This is more predicting that I think Arteta will go with Hector Bellerin. We thought he was on his way to Inter Milan, but, well, no. Florenzi's going to Inter Milan and Bellerin's staying at Arsenal. Yippee. Can't wait for another season of this parasite. Just how it is, isn't it? Left back Kieran Tierney, obviously he did all right. He had a few niggles, I think a few games ago against Chelsea, but he should be all fine, should be raring to go. And if we need be, we have Nuno Tavares sitting on the bench, so hopefully you'll get a few minutes in this one as well, because I think Kieran Tierney will get injuries during the season. He's a player that does have niggles. I think it's just the way he plays, to be honest, that old school style. With the pace, against the pace of the English game, he will get injuries, and that's why we bought Nuno Tavares. Moving into the back two, this is the back two that started against Spurs, and that is Pablo Mari and Ben White. Pablo Mari, first of all, I think he's a pretty decent player, but I think he was at fault for the Human Son goal. But Gabrielle has just come back into London Colney, just come back from rehabilitation from his injury, so he's going to miss the start of the season. I think Gabrielle will probably be back around September time, so after this game, after Chelsea and Man City, I think that's when he's going to be back. And next to him, Ben White. I think Ben White is going to, he's made his start against Spurs. I think he is going to pretty much play every single game from now on. Rob Holding ain't getting a shout. He's been linked to a move to Newcastle, by the way. But with Ben White, I fully expect him to play and fully expect him to play the whole game. He looks fit and ready to go, so why not? Moving into the midfield pivot of the two in front of them. First of all, Granit Xhaka. Oh my days. I thought this guy was off to Roma as well. Come on, man. How is he still here? But we don't have a choice, because I'd rather stick with Xhaka than go with El Neni, in my opinion. And that's who I'm going to go with, because he looked okay, I guess, in the last 2 games. But Granit Xhaka is going to play next to Albert Sambi Lokonga, and that's who I'm going to put there. They both started against Spurs, so I'm going to say, look, let's go with Lokonga in this game. Why not? Let's stick him there. Let's go with Lokonga, because, give the kid a chance, because I think when Partey comes back, then we can stick Partey and Lokonga together. And I think if we're not going to sign another midfielder, they could be the ones we go with, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So Lokonga, yeah, Lokonga. I'm going to go with him. He's looked pretty decent in pre-season in the games he's played. And let's just hope he turns out to be a gem, because he does look like a real talent in these previous few games in pre-season. Just in front of them, Emil Smith-Rowe. That's what I'm going to go with. He played against Spurs. He looked alright. He showed a lot of directness, a lot of firepower. But let's just see how he does in this game against Brentford at the start of the season. We really need someone like Smith-Rowe now to kick on and try to be a big player for us and provide goals from midfield as well. We'll see what happens with Maddison, whether he'll sign. Does that mean Smith-Rowe play on the left? Would he get dropped? I don't know. But yeah, that's the Smith-Rowe at number 10. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Nicolas Pepe. For me, he's looked quite good in pre-season, and I can't wait for him this season, because he started the end of last season was very good from Pepe, and I just hope he can continue that into this season, and that's what I want. Left-hand side, Gabrielle Martinelli. And Martinelli, again, I'm going to go with him. This may be a very risky option, but I'm going to stick with Gabrielle Martinelli. The main reason for this is, I know he's just come back, but he is sharp, obviously playing for Brazil, and he's just come straight back into training. He'll have a few training sessions under his belt, and I want him to start on Friday. Go for it, because I'm sick and tired of Aubameyang already. Drop him. Drop him. Just because he's captain, just because he's the highest paid player, doesn't mean he has to start every game. Drop him. Show some intent and drop him, and then let's see how he comes back from it. Up front as the main striker, Alex Lacazette. I'm content with going at Alex Lacazette in my opinion, because I think he's had a very good preseason. He looked very sharp against Spurs, especially scored a few goals in preseason in previous games as well. Against Spurs, he should have got 1 or 2 goals in my opinion, but he got very unlucky. I think he hit the post. There was a good save from the keeper 1 or 2 times, Lloris and Galini. But yeah, Lacazette up front for me, and that is it for my starting 11 for this game. On the opener against Brentford, Leno, Bellerin, White, Marie, Tierney, Lokonga, Xhaka, Smith-Rowe, Pepe, Lacazette, and Martinelli. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below what predicted lineup you'll go with. My predicted score for this game is a 3-1 win for Arsenal. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I do think we could score 3 goals, because I think if Brentford do start on the front foot, we can catch them out a few times, and I think because of that, we can end up winning this game. And I'm very confident we will, because we need confidence from this game to go into the next 2 games, which are against Chelsea and Manchester City, all before the transfer deadline day. And then after that, it's the rest of the season, in which we have to just go with whatever squad we've got. But we need to add players. We need to try and get some more signings in. But for now, this is the team we've got. And this is probably the team we'll probably end up going with for this game against Brentford on Friday night on 8 p.m. kickoff at their stadium. It should be an interesting one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.